Hey, what's up everybody? This is Daniel's son. Today is Tuesday, May 7th, 2019, and I have the day off today, so I decided to do a review of something that I've been wanting to do a review on for a while. But a couple of things I want to discuss first. I was actually going to do a couple of reviews today. I usually like to do several reviews on my day off. I was going to do this. It's called Heritage. It's the Eau de Toilette by Guerlain. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to do the L'Homme Ideal cologne or the Sport, but I decided not to do either one of those because I'm starting to get to where I feel like I have to do a certain amount of reviews, and that can be a little bit stressful, cause a little bit of anxiety. So I decided to only do one today and not worry about any other reviews until I actually feel like it. Because if I get stressed out and think I have to do so many reviews, then I think it's going to hurt my reviews, and so I decided to do only one today. Another thing I wanted to bring up is I try to keep up with all the other reviewers' reviews and all the comments here on my own reviews, and then all the comments and stuff going on in Facebook. And I just want to let you know, I'm sorry if I don't respond, but lately I've sort of been not going online very much lately because I'm trying to concentrate more on reading and just sort of staying away from Facebook and YouTube and stuff. So if I don't respond to other reviews and comments here on YouTube and comments in Facebook, it's not that I'm trying to ignore you or don't like you or anything like that. It's just there's so much to keep up with. There's so many reviews I need to watch, or I want to watch and comment on and and so many comments here in YouTube land and so many comments in Facebook land. I just get really overwhelmed by trying to keep up with everything and everybody. So I apologize if I don't respond to some of your videos and some of your comments. It's just I just get so overwhelmed sometimes trying to keep up with everything. And I think I'm just going to concentrate more on my reading, reading my books, and just relaxing more than being online. So I just wanted to say that too. Got a couple of tips for you. Sometimes I'm in the position to where I have to shave for a meeting or something, and I shave, but I feel like I need to put something on my face, but I don't want to put any fragrance on my face because sometimes I'm going to be in close quarters with other people and I don't know if I will offend them. Some people are very sensitive to fragrances and stuff, so I have a little tip for you, and that is, I use this a lot actually. Even sometimes when I want to put a fragrance on, I'll use this before I put a fragrance on, because I just think it helps a lot. It helps keep out bacteria. It helps you from it stops the infection. If you get a cut or something, it helps keep infection away and just all kinds of stuff, and it has no fragrance at all. And that is witch hazel. A lot of people know about this, but a lot of people do not. This is great for after shaving to put on your face, or if you shave your legs, it's good to put on your legs too, because it makes it feel good. It keeps it from getting any infection. Just good with bacteria, and just sort of tones and conditions your skin also. This one has a little bit of alcohol. This has 14% alcohol, which is good. It actually does not dry out your skin. There's a lot of aftershaves that have a lot more alcohol than 14%. So this is good. And if you don't want to do any alcohol whatsoever, there's a product called Thayer's Witch Hazel that has no alcohol in it. It has aloe and it has lavender, and it really, really does tone your skin and make your skin feel good after shaving. So just some little tips. Another thing I wanted to say is I've mentioned this a few times in some of my reviews that when I do any review, I want to try to make sure as much as possible is that my notes that I give you are correct. And I've said this before in several of my other reviews. Be careful where you get your notes from, especially if you're doing reviews, because I love Fragrantica, but I'm aware that sometimes Fragrantica has notes on their website for specific fragrance, and they are not correct. For example, this has been a few months ago, I was looking at one of the Cuba Red, Cuba Paris fragrances, the red one. I'm not really sure. It's one of the Cuba Paris fragrances. And I noticed, I was like, that don't seem right because I haven't, and these notes just don't seem right. And I found out later that they took notes from a completely different fragrance, still Cuba Red, but completely from a different fragrance, and put it on that page. So those notes were completely like opposite of what it's supposed to be. So be really careful with that. I think a lot of people will just automatically assume Fragrantica is correct, and they'll have a fragrance and they'll either comment or just wear it or do reviews or something and just assume that the notes are correct, and then it makes themselves smell something that's actually not even there. It's sort of like a placebo effect, I guess you would say. And I've actually done that myself when I first started doing reviews. I just automatically trusted Fragrantica, and I read off the wrong notes. So be real careful with that, especially with Fragrantica. I always get my notes from the website itself, or if the house website does not have notes, I'll go to base notes, because I think base notes, even though they might be wrong sometimes, are very more accurate than Fragrantica. Another instance, I was getting my notes last night for this and went to the website. They have notes for the Parfum, but not the Eau de Toilette. So I went to base notes, and base notes has the notes for this, but they were sort of identical to what Guerlain's website has for the Eau de Parfum. So I trust these notes are pretty accurate. And then I went to Fragrantica, and I don't know what the hell Fragrantica has the notes for this, but they are like, I think 15 to 20 notes, and I don't know where the hell that they got their notes from, because I know some of those notes are not in here. So just be careful with that. Another thing that I wanted to say that I thought was interesting, I noticed I can have a specific fragrance like this. I wore this all day and all night last night, and I had my opinion on it. I was like, okay, this is what I smell, and this accord comes in at this time. And then this morning I put it on, getting ready for this review, and I was getting something different. Like last night, I was getting the lavender and a little bit of citrus, and it lasted for like 30 minutes. But today I put it on, and I was getting something sort of like different. And I noticed that also when I'd done some of my older reviews. I would go back and watch those wearing the fragrance that I reviewed like now, and I'm like, I wonder how the hell I got that then, and I'm not getting that at all right now. So I think it's interesting how you can have a specific fragrance and wear it, and then on down the road, you get something completely different. And I don't think the fragrance changes. I think it's us that changes. I think it's the perception we have of a fragrance. I think it depends on maybe what kind of mood we're in. Maybe our nose has developed a little bit more, so I think that's interesting that we can get different things from a specific fragrance at different times. Yeah, let me go ahead and get on with this review. I was also going to do another fragrance in the next day or two, but I don't know if I'll get to it or not, just because I want to stay away from, the internet a little bit. But Yves Dirac sent me some other stuff that I've already tried out and I'm really excited to do. Maybe I'll do these next. But she sent me two MFK fragrances, samples. One is, both of them are gentle fluidity. One is called Gold and the other is called Silver. And this is the first MFK Paris fragrances that I've ever gotten, so I'm really excited about that. I think I might do these next. But anyway, this is called Heritage Eau de Toilette. Come out in 1992. Perfumer is Jean-Paul Guerlain. From what I understand, there is a term that Guerlain uses called Guerlainade. And what Guerlainade is it's an accord. It's a set of notes that create an accord to give some of their fragrances a certain DNA, and they call it Guerlainade. Guerlainade is actually 4 notes that give it a certain accord, and it is bergamot, patchouli, tonka bean, and vanilla. And supposedly this is the one, the 1992 Heritage Eau de Toilette, that was supposed to have been the first Guerlainade fragrance from Guerlain. So I thought that was a little bit interesting. The notes to this are lemon, lavender, bergamot. Heart notes coriander, pink peppercorn. The base notes is patchouli, cedarwood, tonka bean, and vanilla. I have the dry down on this arm. Very nice, very nice. Let me show you the bottle actually. The bottle is your typical Guerlain bottle for men. This used to be in a different kind of bottle, but they changed a lot of their bottles and made them look the same. So this is the shape that you see now. I like it. It's simplistic. I like it. I think it looks nice. The cap is actually, I believe, real wood. I believe they actually use real wood on here, and it fits very snugly on there. The atomizer is excellent, just like all my other Guerlain. I think I have more Guerlain fragrances than any other house. I think I have like maybe 10 Guerlains. I love them. In the opening, you get just a little bit of alcohol, and I get a lot of bergamot and lemon. A little bit of lavender. That lavender is going to come on pretty strong in the next 10 minutes. And that lavender to me isn't your typical lavender that I usually have in my fragrances. This lavender is a powdery lavender. It actually does not smell like a lavender flower. It doesn't smell realistic to me. It actually smells a little bit, the lavender in here actually smells a little bit artificial to me. It doesn't smell like a real floral lavender to me. Yeah, it's really powdery, artificial lavender, which I do not like. I did a review back quite a while back, Guerlain, the House of Guerlain, that did a fragrance that smelled almost identical to this kind of lavender. Don't really care for it that much. But a lot of citrus and a lot of the lavender in the opening, and I do not like that lavender whatsoever. Now the mid, after the opening, this is where I start to like it. Right after the opening, when it gets into the mid and I start getting those spicy notes, the coriander and pink peppercorn, then it starts to then I start to like a little bit more, because that lavender sort of tones down a lot. That powdery artificial lavender tones down a little bit. And it actually starts getting a different kind of floral smell to me in the mid. But the mid is much, much better. And then in the dry down, it gets even more better. This is where this is where I'm really loving this fragrance. The patchouli and the cedarwood. I don't really get your typical patchouli. I get an earthiness in there, but not necessarily patchouli. But I do get a really beautiful cedarwood. I get a really beautiful tonka bean. I get a really beautiful vanilla. And I actually do detect that lavender a little bit in the dry down also. But it's a lot more pleasant to me because it's like blended with the cedarwood and tonka bean and the earthiness of the patchouli and the vanilla. Very, very, very beautiful dry down. Do not care for the opening whatsoever. The mid is good, but the dry down is spectacular. So the performance on me personally is, the longevity is about 8 hours, which is pretty good. Actually, that's really good for a lot of eau de toilettes. Seasons, occasions, anytime, anywhere. I think this is actually a really versatile fragrance. I've seen a lot of people in Fragrantica that was like, you know, winter, fall, and spring, and very little people voted this in for summer. And I'm not really sure why of that. I think this is all season, any occasion. This is a little bit more on the masculine side, but I don't really think it matters. I don't think it's masculine to where females couldn't wear this. So unisex, leaning masculine, I guess. But overall, I like it. I do. A lot of people that have done reviews on this give it really 2 big thumbs up, and I give it 2 big thumbs up too. Just considering I don't like the opening, that's more of a personal opinion. That's not really towards the fragrance itself, because a lot of people like the opening. A lot of people like that kind of lavender. But me personally, I don't. So if I have to rate it on a personal level, I would have to give this like maybe a 6.5 out of 7. Just because of the opening. If the opening was more of a real lavender, I would probably give it a lot better score than that. But anyway, that's it for my review, and sorry it took so long. I don't pay attention to time anymore. I just talk until I'm done, and then that's it. But anyway, oh yeah, about the witch hazel stuff, I get a ton of these like empty fragrance bottles that have atomizers. I got a ton of these. I got like 12 of these things that I put all different kinds of fragrances for different reasons in. I actually put the witch hazel in these bottles, these atomizer bottles, for when I do shave and I want to put this on. I just like squirt it on instead of having to worry about putting it in my hands and trying to do all that crap. Anyway, I hope y'all have a good day, and I love you guys, and I promise I'll try to keep up with the with the other reviewers' reviews, I promise. And I'll try to keep up with the comments as best I can, but sometimes I just take a few days break from Fragrance Land and YouTube Land, so I'll try to do my best. But anyway, hope y'all have a good day, and I love you guys, and I'll talk to you whenever. I'm not going to set a specific date to do another review, but whenever. All right, love you guys. Bye.